T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning.
Welcome to the Hitchhiker's Guide of Disbelief.
Well, welcome back to a Hitchhiker's Guide of Disbelief. This is Jack Russell, and I'm joined today in the studio with Eric T. and the Doctor. And this is going to be our third part in our series of Scientology. Eric has joined us this evening to kind of tell us about some time a few years back in L.A. when him and a few friends were walking down the street, and they kind of roped him right into the Church of Scientology. And, you know what that's like when you're... I don't want to present too much of it like a vaudevillian cane coming out and kind of pulling you off the stage or anything. And the other interesting thing about this is that hey, Doctor, how long ago did we go to the church? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, on a Saturday morning, me and the Doctor decided... Saturday morning. We decided to... Next door. Okay, that's really good.
We went to the church. Because the bookstore is connected by that hallway right there.
That we didn't...
The door was closed and it says, please use other door.
So they didn't let us into the bookstore?
Well, no, because you could go in through inside.
Ah.
Where the girl was sitting at the desk, you could right over.
Into the bookstore.
There's
Correct.
no outside entrance to the bookstore?
There is, but it says, please use other door.
There's 2 entrances.
So then why have an entrance?
Well, you know, it's... All of the protests that I watched for Chicago that happened there and on the back end. Have you guys watched any of those?
Yes.
No.
No, yes, no, yes, no.
I didn't know
yes.
there were protests going on.
There's a few.
Yeah, they're not, there's no frequency to them whatsoever. I mean,
So this isn't like Ferguson?
no, nothing
No.
like Ferguson or
no.
Baltimore.
No.
Yeah, none of that. It seems that it's always the same 3 or 4 people, and they're always harassing. And I'm going to use the word harassing here when I'm talking about what they're doing because...
But the one we watched, they had the Guy Fawkes masks on. The Guy Fawkes masks on. The anonymous masks.
Oh.
Yeah, but
That was one of them.
That was one of them, but there's the other few of the guys that are standing in front doing the chalk on the sidewalk.
Yes.
And the guy who runs the place comes out and washes it off.
But this would be retrospective then.
Okay, because we're talking about the past.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the... You know, I hate to say it, going in there, I really thought they were nice people.
They very were, and the one lives not far from me, actually.
Yeah, they were neighborhood people.
Yeah.
So, I have no...
Although, I don't think she knew her stuff. She kept going to others. And the other thing that I felt was that they were watching us.
Obviously.
When we were in that room, the dark room.
Like they had...
They were sneaking in on us.
Well, obviously.
Well, I saw the door open a few times just to make sure. And I don't think that they were watching us. I think they were just checking to make sure that we weren't assholes. Like, like spray painting inside there. Scientologists suck or something.
Oh,
I think,
yeah, like you're going to break something or draw. Somebody drew a dick on somebody's car. I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with anything.
Good for them. They're getting in touch
Have
with
you
their
heard
penises.
about the guy? I can't remember what city he's in, but he's getting sick of the potholes.
Yeah.
So he's drawing penises and genitalia on all the
that.
potholes. Yes.
How is that
Is he
solving
part of
anything?
Scientology?
No.
He's a Scientologist.
He's a Scientologist that's drawing penises on potholes?
Yes.
Man, oh man. So, yeah, I don't think that they were sitting necessarily, that they were watching us like if they had cameras in there.
Oh, it's in Manchester, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think there was like cameras in there watching us. No.
I don't think so either. However, I did not feel like they wanted me there.
You felt uncomfortable?
I felt uncomfortable. I wanted more like,
You didn't
here,
feel
let us
welcomed.
indoctrinate you.
Have
And
you
they were
been
like,
to the Baha'i
read a
temple?
book. Yes, I have. My wife lost my rechargeable batteries there.
I'm glad that was just rechargeable batteries that was lost there. Oh, man. So, Baha'i Temple
I felt the same vibe.
at Baha'i.
Yeah. Because it's kind of the culmination of all sorts of different religions and influences coming together, not unlike Scientology.
It's been a really long time for me since I've been to Baha'i for anything else than just... I love their gardens. It's fucking amazing. I mean, Man, what a great
Just
place.
the building.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's just like a little oasis on a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, at Scientology at the Chicago church, I was actually comfortable.
I was comfortable as well. I just wanted more of, let us give you more type of thing. Well, it just kept going back to, here, read this book. Here, read this book. And she kept pointing at the bookcase that had all the Dianetic books.
So
I wanted more.
Okay.
I think.
Well, I think if we would have did the profile, they asked us to do a
profile that we could do there, or we could take online. Or
100 questions?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. 100 question profile test, and then they would give us a probably e-meter reading after that. Or
Yeah, but see, I take issue with this whole profile thing because some of them say that it was developed by L. Ron Hubbard, and it really, we're not quite sure whether it was or not. We don't believe it was. So I believe they use Harvard or Oxford or something in it, so it makes it sound all scientific, and it really isn't.
So if it's not written by Hubbard, then you're not in?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of
I'm a
snobbish.
diehard Hubbard fan now.
it's gotta all be Hubbard all the time.
So
LRH.
I meant to ask earlier, did you watch the video of him speaking? It's some kind of documentary.
I watched the so the
It's
documentary.
him standing up by like a fireplace, by a mantle, and he's got like he's dressed like a fucking naval asshole. I apologize to any naval assholes in the audience right now. I don't think you're assholes at all.
I want to say yes to that, but I also I might be confusing it. There's a black and white documentary about Sea Org that
No,
then
it's a color. It's just him talking.
He's
He's sitting at a desk and he's got a goofy face.
I think I've seen what you're talking about. I believe I've actually watched it,
It's
but
not on YouTube.
I think I've seen a clip of it. It might have been one of the documentaries I've watched.
They have it at my library. I meant to bring it over.
They have the interview, the whatever that we're talking about at
Yeah.
the library.
Yeah.
What's it titled? Do you know?
I don't recall offhand. If I saw the name, it would ring a bell.
Oxford Capacity Analysis is the $20,000 table here. Come.
Oh, you just kicked
Oh my gosh, you did it.
Man, oh man. The lady that sat us that we did watch a movie. We watched the movie called The Evolution of Science.
Correct.
The movie was called The Evolution of Science, which so the manipulation of the film is if you're not really paying attention and they move through this ebb and flow of the movie and the story and whatnot, and then they slowly introduce this whole idea again, and then they shock you with it. You're like, oh yeah, so it is. He did have a good relationship with his father. It was a fucking great movie. It was produced extremely well.
It really was.
Yeah, good acting. The acting was good.
It was.
It was good. It wasn't.
Any recognizable talent?
No. Well, recognizable talent like we could put into another film or something.
Tom Cruise, John Travolta.
No.
No.
This is
Kirstie
all.
Alley.
This is Sea Org stuff. They're in none of the Sea Org stuff like this. This is all from the. Is it the ranch?
It is.
The ranch is where they have their on-site. So they gave us this really good magazine called Freedom, and it showed all of the really good things about Scientology, like their recording studio, which I was really impressed with. Their film, what's it called, a backdrop, where they do like interior shooting. I think so. They have like a 40-room backdrop or something. They have a great like setup. So, I mean.
Considering they have buildings all around the world.
But this is just in one spot where that's the ranch is where they do all their audio, video, and internet stuff from. So back to our encounter there. They were really nice to us. I mean, I'm just surprised they didn't give us like cookies and coffee and shit.
No, they were all very nice. We met 2 or 3 people there.
Yeah.
The gentleman was very nice. He asked us if we had any questions. It seemed like they were skeptical at first that we just wandered in. Now, given this was a week or so after, Going Clear came out, so it wasn't the best of timing. But they were surprisingly very nice.
We were honest.
I expected them to give us some tracts or a pamphlet or something along that nature. To be honest with you, they gave us the Freedom magazine.
It's crazy how that Christian thought still comes in. Like, we expect to track, Jesus died for our sins piece of paper.
Pretty much. And they, I'm surprised that they didn't ask for more names or information or anything, so they could put us on a mailing list or something like that. Because a lot of the stuff I read online and a lot of the stuff that I read in the blogs, then the anti-Scientology camp, is that they required all this information, but they didn't. It wasn't like these protests that you see on YouTube or other anti-Scientology websites. They're very a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that. It was honestly, I think I get more hate at the woman that thinks that I cut her off at the Parkridge Starbucks than I got from here. I mean, there was no hate. It was just, they were just very open, very nice. They did, we kind of asked, they weren't pushy.
Right.
And I expected them to be pushy.
Our questions were good and poignant to them. It wasn't like we, I hate to say, we didn't invade their space at all. We didn't.
Yeah. We didn't. But, the one thing I wanted to ask, I forgot to ask, was what was up with their Super Bowl ad during the 2014, I believe, Super Bowl. I kind of expected that playing in the background somewhere. I expected more of a... the stuff that I had read about a lot of the churches is you go in, there's interactive displays and this and that, and I didn't see any of it. It was more like you said, Eric, like the bookstore. But we know for a fact it wasn't.
So that wasn't a church per se.
Well, it's marked the Church of Scientology on the outside. Maybe the other doors.
It's part of the Church of Scientology company.
But they're connected by that inner hallway that you could see where the other doors are.
There was some strange machine that I wanted to go look at. That wasn't an e-machine. It almost looked like some sort of Pilates electronic...
elliptical machine?
Now, you've seen the new e-machines.
Yeah, I've seen the new
e-machines. And as I told you the other day, they look like a Barbie house accessory.
Yeah, the baby blue, turquoise blue.
Yeah.
They're still numbered.
Are they?
Yeah, they're still got this running sequence of numbers as if they're so important that we need to keep...
But isn't everything, though?
Well, okay, so...
These microphones have serial numbers on them.
Serial numbers are one thing, but big brass numbers embossed and riveted into something to say oh, I had my auditing done on number 1664, e-machine matter,
I still want to take one apart.
Yeah, you might as well just take apart a fucking meter.
I understand, but I could go buy a fluke. I could go buy a really nice fluke meter for a basic one for $100, a nicer one for $800,
and you can go and do readings, and there's your money.
And exactly, there's my money. You hold one probe, Jack holds the other, and there we go. Look at that. We know who's lying.
Ooh, we're holding probes.
That's right.
I didn't know this was going to be this kind of show.
That's why the clothes started coming off.
May I interject here?
Go ahead, please. Sorry.
I mean, you're the host and all.
I'm taking care of the talent. How's that coffee?
It's a little cold by now.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
It's fine. So, there's so much more behind this story.
Is this your Scientology? Is this your Scientology
This
story?
is my Scientology story.
Okay.
There's so much backstory, but I guess that's all kind of superfluous because all we're talking about is Scientology. So we were in California, we were in Los Angeles, Hollywood, and we were at whatever the fuck. I wanted to go to the Museum of Death, but it was closed.
Damn it.
And
death never closes.
We were in the middle of the sidewalk, and just the three of us standing there, me and my then girlfriend and then friend, and a couple of blonde...
That's another $2,000.
Ladies. I think it was 20.
No, just that dick.
Well-dressed blonde girls approached the three of us, and I don't exactly remember what they said, But they asked us if they wanted to take a tour.
A tour of the church?
A tour. Yeah. A free tour.
Is this the hotel? Is this the hotel church?
Um,
The one that's.
I don't want to say it's the blue building.
Okay.
But it is prominent in a prominent space.
Because they have about half a dozen, if not more, buildings in the LA area where they do different readings, and the Ideal Corp and the Inspector General's office and the hotel and the main building and all that.
Oh yeah,
So-
it was definitely
Don't they-
was something. It was one of the larger ones.
Don't they have one that's just for Hollywood?
Superstars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hollywood people.
Oh yeah, but that goes along with the moral of the story.
Okay.
Did you meet Tom Cruise?
I wish. So
You're an SP anyways, so.
Yeah, you are an
I
SP.
don't know.
You're very
Really?
suppressive.
Oh, I think I'm more than supportive of any sort of ideas. So I could be an SP, but I'm a supportive person. I just don't know.
Different SP.
So they asked us if we wanted to take a tour, and we all looked at each other, and I said, sure, and my then girlfriend said, no, they're going to try to brainwash us. I don't want to go in. And I turned and I said, you guys aren't going to try to brainwash us, are you? And they says, no. And I turned to her and I said, see, they said they're not going to brainwash us. Let's go. So we went in.
Never
And
came back out.
immediately we were assaulted by this noise that was actual music composed by L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard composed music?
Oh, yeah. Duh. And it was played on, it was some kind of fucking shitty ass organ music. There were,
You know, he has his own album.
L. Ron Hubbard has an album?
Correct.
Oh, man, I got to use that for bumper music.
I think it's called. What's it called?
the DVD is called Introduction to
No.
Scientology, and it's at your local.
Road
library.
to Freedom, I think is the name of the album.
An Introduction to Scientology is the DVD that's free at the library.
Yeah.
And L. Ron Hubbard's album is called The Road to
I
Freedom.
think that's what it is. I mean, I need to look it up, but I think it's called The Road to Freedom.
You want to know the most fucked up thing in the world that we could possibly do? One of us gets a job at those jukebox places, and we put The Road to Freedom in every single jukebox we can. Oh my God.
Is this on YouTube?
Oh, Sagan.
No, it's on Slate.com.
So can you play a little of it without being?
We can set this up. We definitely can.
We're
set
not
this
selling this.
Up. No, we're not selling.
No,
this.
no, no, no,
We
no,
can
no,
set,
no.
We can set this up. Tell me more about the church. Your L.A.
So they weren't. I don't want to go so far as to say they were animatronic figures. They moved a little bit, and they were dressed up like Battlefield Earth and whatever all the other titles are. And they had little alcoves set off with different scenes from his books. With these,
They had I got like a diorama.
like a diorama, exactly.
Really?
Yes. Like a diorama. And they had the music playing. And we were pretty much left to our own devices.
They let you walk around, just like no chaperone. No
I wasn't really paying attention because I was on vacation.
Oh, okay.
And I was just having fun. And I just wasn't. It wasn't what it is now.
Scientology wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't all the hubbub. And the,
Oh, no, it's all different. So yeah, then we watched a movie.
Uh-huh.
And it was about some kind of recovering druggie.
Ah. Very, very L.A.
To show the curative aspects of Scientology. They didn't even have seats. They just had a metal bar you could either lean against or sit on
Okay.
in this theater. I mean, it wasn't a huge theater, but
Big screen at the time.
yeah, a big screen at the time.
Yeah. 60.
People wouldn't have that in their home back then.
Okay.
A movie star might, but not you or I. And so after that was over, then there was memorabilia, paraphernalia of like pictures and crap by L. Ron Hubbard, and just talking about, oh well, he wrote this many books and he did this and that and everything that you guys had covered previously, and it was just this mishmash of different religions, different worldviews, different cultural views, science fiction stories, and he just took all these things and ran with it, and that's what Scientology is. So here we go into the bookstore, and she's handing my friend books. Like, oh, this one is an introduction, blah, blah, blah,
Are they
whatever.
books or are they pamphlets?
They were books. We were
Like-
in a bookstore. They
Okay.
were books. They were thick books or paperback,
what
trade
have you, but
paperback
actual
size,
books.
actual books. And my friend says, oh, okay, well, thanks. And we were about to leave, and she said, oh no, you have to pay for those.
but
and
that's
we
kind of what
said-
we thought.
And we said, oh, I thought you were giving these to us. And she says, no, you have to buy these. And we said, oh, well, forget it then. No thanks. And we left. We didn't have the money to become Scientologists
Do you know
that
how much?
day.
Do you happen to know how much they were? Off the top
I
of your
have
head?
no idea, but there was probably a couple of $100 worth of books that
They had
handed
stacked
us.
up because that's how it almost seemed when we went.
Uh-huh.
She kept showing us the books, and it was the same book. It was Dianetics. It was like row after row after row. There was a couple other ones mixed in, but the majority of it was the original Dianetics book. And she's like, here are the books. Here are the books. And I honestly almost went to go grab for one, and I realized there was a price tag on the bottom of one. I'm like, oh, well, I guess they're not just handing these out. Not that they should, but
If you can't afford it, then you can't
Then
know
too
the
bad.
secrets of
So-
whatever the fuck.
but I could walk.
how
I could walk
dependent-
into a Catholic church and get the weekly bulletin. I could go to Jehovah's Witness a hall and get their awake
Watchtower.
Watchtower.
Yeah.
I could walk into Baha'i and get
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm out of my league there.
and get some
They'll give you
pamphlets. They'll give you something. The local Buddhist, the local Lutheran church, what have you. But in all honesty, they did give us Freedom Magazine.
Well, I'm going to say one thing here. If I was a member of Scientology right now, if I worked here in the city of Chicago for Scientology, Dianetics sold really, really well for many, many years. So I would
Still does.
Okay, I would make it my mission as a Scientologist. And hey, if there's a Scientologist out there right now who's listening to this, they can take this and use this to their advantage. I'd go to every thrift store and pick up every copy of Dianetics and leave those laying around, so when people come in, you can hand them a copy of Dianetics for free. Or at least say 50-cent donation, you can have a copy of Dianetics. So it's a used book, big deal.
But that's the thing is when you and I went there,
Uh-huh.
if they had said to us for a $5
Exactly.
$5 donation,
That's what I'm getting at.
You could have this book. I would have gladly handed over my hard-earned $5.
They
That's
don't
what
want donations. They want
They don't
sales.
no, exactly, and that's the thing is they will. As she said, we could get a simple reading,
Yeah.
which was free. Anything other than that, we would have to speak with somebody else.
Am I the only one in the room that has read Dianetics?
I started reading it.
I've
I
read bits and
couldn't.
pieces.
Okay. So
I think I could make it up if.
Okay. So we all agree that it's not that it's almost unreadable.
I don't know about unreadable.
If
It's
you
a
walk-
difficult read.
If you walk into it, if you've never read Clark Dick, even a science, actual science book, or a
So
crime.
it's a science fiction writer writing a self-help book.
Yeah.
But as we went back in, it was either part 1 or part 2 where we discussed it. L. Ron Hubbard actually brought Dianetics to the American Psychiatric Association and wanted to sell it as
And they laughed at him.
not necessarily a self-help, but as a here, this is a tool you could use, they laughed at him and said, no, you're nuts.
Because it's not marketed as a tool, it's marketed as a cure.
That's a good point.
It is.
That's a really good point.
Excellent job, Eric. Good for you.
Guess I'm done here. But yeah, if you don't have the money for it, you can't.
There's a Seinfeld episode about that. Every time George has a good joke, he just walks right out of the room.
Got to go out on a high note.
How
All
long?
it was just something to do that day.
What year was this in? Roughly.
I want to say 2000.
It just got really loud outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. There's a bus going by.
Yeah.
And, so you actually have the recordings of L. Ron Hubbard's music.
Correct.
And
now, there are some that L. Ron Hubbard sings. However, the majority of them, he just composed the music and the lyrics.
Eric, you and I both like music. We can agree on that.
I love music.
Are you ready to hear this? Is the world ready to hear this on this podcast?
I'm glad I have headphones on right now, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So what you're hearing here is John Travolta singing a song written and composed by L. Ron Hubbard, LRH. Oh man. Let it go.
If night could start, days are done. Future holds no light. There is one thing that you can do that solves it all outright. Get on the road to freedom. Help us free all mankind. The pain and all your sorrow are only in your mind.
Wow.
I hope I never hear that again.
I will make sure it is in your car on the way home. Along with the Jesus fish in the back bumper.
Oh
It's a little on the nose. I mean,
That's John Travolta singing.
John Travolta singing, correct. It is called The Road to Freedom. I was right. However, L. Ron has produced many more. He played the piano. He was a composer and performer. I mean, you can go and buy his.
He also said a lot of other things he was too.
Yeah, but you could buy his sheet music.
Oh my. Why?
can you read sheet music?
Can I read sheet music?
Yeah.
I could work my way through it. I mean, I could find somebody who could read it for us and
Now,
play it.
I'm curious to see if we brought Charlie Ashcroft in, if she would play us a piece.
Oh, I'm almost definite, and she would play us a piece, but I would never want to torture somebody like that.
No!
I mean, do we torture the audience?
No, because that's other people who have to hear Charlie practice.
What? No, I don't mean that. I mean,
Oh, I do!
I mean the torturing of just. I mean, how prolific do you think Hubbard's music really is? If it was really good,
It's inspirational.
we wouldn't be having this
Christian.
conversation.
All we need to do is stand up, start swaying, and start clapping.
Well, yeah, the piece that we just played, that really was just a poor copy of We Are the World.
It was. Let's all hold hands, kumbaya.
Yeah, but wow, Eric's stunned.
Get on the road to freedom. I'm on my way.
He's completely stunned. So that's almost as John Travolta singing is almost as bad as Don Johnson singing.
I couldn't even tell who that was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't attuned to.
There's something about
There's something about his voice.
his monotone. It all comes out of his nose.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. May. Hey, hey. That whole
There was other people singing too, so that sort of.
Yeah, Lee Roth was in there.
David
There's
Lee
different.
Roth?
Who?
David Lee Roth?
No, Leaf Roth.
Oh, I don't know who Leaf Roth is. Is that an
Probably
elf?
some poor prisoner in the gulags of Australia.
He's
Making
from
30 cents an hour.
He's from the Roth family, you know, the family of
The Rothschild?
the Roths, the chocolatiers. Oh
No.
okay.
No,
Sorry.
but the listening audience can honestly go and Google L. Ron Hubbard's music, and they will find a lot of music written and composed by him for harmonica, ukulele, different.
The best instruments in the world.
The piccolo.
The accordion, I hope.
I didn't see the accordion.
Oh, who writes music for the harmonica?
L. Ron Hubbard did.
Hubbard does apparently.
And that's
Nobody's
why we're
writ-
talking about him right
Nobody's
now.
written music for the harmonica since
I didn't even know
slavery
you
was
wrote
abolished.
music for the harmonica. I thought you just kind of grabbed it and went.
Just blew on your.
What was the name of that movie with George Clooney and?
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that soundtrack.
Okay.
What does that say about the Doctor?
It says that you're a big fan of Gillian Welch and T-Bone Burnett.
T-Bone Burnett. He's the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That soundtrack was a gift to me, actually.
That's
And then that soundtrack was thrown out the car window.
that movie was a gift to all of us because it was a phenomenal movie.
It really was.
That was, I
and
think.
that is when I started using pomade.
Okay, I don't want to sway from Scientology, but can we all agree that maybe that was outside of the Big Lebowski? Maybe that was their pinnacle movie.
Whose?
The
Coen Brothers?
Coen Brothers.
Coen Brothers?
Yeah.
I
I'm
would-
asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
I would say that it is definitely near the top, but
Yeah.
Miller's Crossing is definitely
Okay.
a close
Okay.
second.
You might as well be speaking a second language.
But then
to me. I
again,
have no idea.
Fargo is quite good, taking into consideration the whole atmosphere and just that place and those people and their eccentricities and their little.
Holy smokes! I'm sorry. Do you guys hear that?
Extremely.
I don't
Wow.
think they would hear it. I don't think the listening audience
No.
is
Oh,
going to pick up
I
what
think
that
they
is.
will.
Okay, we're gonna leave that in though, and from this point on, I will not edit anything out, so we get that full banda in the background. That means there's a quinceañera going on down the
See,
street.
the fun. I'll save this till later.
I completely enjoy hearing L. Ron Hubbard's music.
I did too. It was inspirational. It honestly was. No, but let's think about this. You're in a depressed. If you are in a depressed spot. If
Yeah.
you are in a depressed spot, you're looking for some help. You don't have a quinceañera going on next door. All of a sudden, you got somebody lassoing you in.
Really, would that do it for you?
I think I need a little more than that in my life. But I have to say, honestly, you listen to something like that, you do a whole, hands across the world type of crap, and, you read some of these books, you're in a bad spot in your life, you got debt, or you got illness, or you got death, and these people are trying to help you and counsel you, and say, hey, we can work this out, something happened to you, you got a chain around your neck, we can help you work this out. Just, here, sign the second mortgage. And you're in a bad spot. I can see how it works.
So,
I
yeah.
honestly can
Okay.
see how it works.
I'm with I'm with you there. I can see that too. I can see it working.
It's not for us. It might not be for this listening audience.
It really shouldn't be for anybody. But
No,
unfortunately-
it shouldn't, but it does happen. I mean, that's how telemarketing, that's how, what's his name worked? The one that died with the infomercials.
Jack LaLanne?
No.
Jack LaLanne was a juicer.
The other one.
That's a whole other show.
You're not talking about the guy that wrote 1,001 Cures.
Trudeau?
Trudeau.
I am not.
Miracle cures that they don't
You
want
mean-
you to know about.
You're talking the guy from Chicago, right? The guy who actually started that with Ginsu knives.
The SC on TV guy.
Okay, so
Oh, Ron.
Ronco.
Yeah.
That guy started Ronco.
With the hair lip.
He had a hair lip?
Yeah.
I never know. I never noticed he had a hair lip.
There was something going on there.
grew a mustache.
Ron.
Billy Mays is who I'm
Billy
thinking
Mays.
Billy Mays. Not to be confused with the guitarist from Queen.
about. No, but he was young. He was like 50 when
Brian
he died.
May.
Huh?
Brian May.
Brian May.
Yeah, it's close.
Not even.
Willie Mays, maybe.
Wasn't he a character in a movie? Willie Mays Hayes?
I think, yeah. So what I hear is that they find the money that you have in order to get into the church.
Right, but there's currently multiple lawsuits happening throughout the United States.
Yeah, see, I that's
and one of them is for fraud. The federal lawsuit involving the Garcia family is for fraud, saying that they scammed them in
well, obviously.
during a time of need for them to sign a second.
Why didn't they
mortgage.
turn to Jesus then?
Well, because
Jesus didn't come
LRH
through?
was better and Xeno was better.
Than Jesus?
What about Yahweh? What about
Those are some big claims you got
You
there.
said Garcia, so I'm just assuming that
They're Hispanic.
they're gonna turn to Jesus.
Well, it's very racist of you.
It is.
No,
I'm a
it's
little,
not. It's honest.
I'm a little racist.
That's honest.
Aren't we all?
I'm not racist. I hate everybody.
No, but you
Equally.
look at if in all honesty you are correct. Garcia is a South American, Central American name, and the majority of it is
Very few Alaskans
Christianity.
named Garcia.
Correct. You don't see Denali Garcia walking down the street.
But it's the same. It's that same sort of want that they have, that they needed.
Well, I think you laid it out really well over there when you were saying if you're this, if you're that, if you're that. Those are the people that come to Scientology and that use Scientology for what it is.
But if those people had walked past a monk, they might have turned to that. If they had walked past a sheik, they might have turned to that.
They could have.
I think if you're just looking for something and you happen to run into it,
Nope.
and these
They
people
sold
are
it better.
promising,
Nope.
they sold it better.
Yeah.
You are right on that, Eric.
And they sold it, and that's the horrible thing.
Yeah.
Is that they have to bring money
they
into it.
sold it, and not only did they sell it to you, you were at a point in your life, mentally or physically, emotionally, where you are willing to say, here's my credit card, here's a blank check, just please help me out.
They didn't pounce on you.
You came to them.
You showed vulnerability.
Yeah.
You exposed your belly.
They're not leaving calling cards on your door or on your car.
Speaking of calling cards, I got a calling card from the JWs because of Eric.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
I loved it, dude. I wish the doorbell would have worked that day.
The doorbell never works. It does.
Just gotta press it the right
You
way.
just have to sense it.
You gotta be sexy. You gotta have the phone number in order to get up here.
You just got to pick the lock. Anyways, going back to our
There's
visits,
just so many sides of it. That's the thing, is that there is this I guess banal Hollywood association that it has, but then that leads into the idea of media manipulation and
Which
getting
leads to
their
Ideal
stuff
Org.
into but then there's also the human aspect of it, of people being taken and being scammed by this Amway of the soul.
But look at it like this. Think about it. There was something I read a few days ago that said that the reason why they're so successful in LA is because all these people are coming to LA. They all want to be movie stars. They want to be magicians.
That's
musicians.
Fine. Sure.
If you want to be a magician, be a musician, whatever. A musical magician. But they're all coming to Hollywood, and they're using these popular stars, Christy Alley, John Travolta, Tom Cruise.
Whoa, talk about A-list.
But they're using all these stars, and they're saying, hey, look at them. They're Scientologists. You could become like them. You could become as successful as them
you could
if
have
you follow this.
You could have a failed sitcom career and go from fat to fatter. and
Okay, Christy Alley might have been
eventually-
the wrong person, but
okay, you could have
Tom Cruise,
you
somebody like that.
Yeah.
But I think they're
But
using
we're not
it.
Tom Cruise. Oh, you think they're using
I
it?
think they're using them.
Of course
yeah.
they are. But they are more than complicit because they're
Who's
obviously
complicit?
the Tom Cruise and
I don't
any
think,
of the others.
but I don't think Tom Cruise and John Travolta know about the Gulag in Australia.
what, they
Sure
can't
they do.
read?
Sure they do.
They're
really
high
think so?
they're high ranking.
What you're saying that those guys are ultralistic by any means? That they're like, oh, we can't hurt people?
No, but I'm saying they pretty much hired a woman and gave her plastic surgery to make her Tom Cruise's girlfriend.
Sure.
And Tom Cruise didn't know about that.
I'm sure he
Tom
knows.
Cruise knows about everything that Tom Cruise gets into.
I think Tom Cruise is manipulated way too much, and Tom Cruise does what he's told.
Yeah, I don't think Scientology is really looking to Tom Cruise and saying, "Yeah, Tom, we're gonna isolate you from what's really going on here, and we just want you to come by and show your face from
Really?
time to time."
You don't think so?
I'm pretty sure he's.
If he's on a movie set, he's associating with people, or is he just kind of ushered in and out?
Have you read any of the depositions that are done in any of these lawsuits against Scientology?
I have not.
No.
Okay, it honestly seems...
That's why we have you here.
Okay.
You understand the law.
I do. And there was a time in my life that's all I spent doing, and I have to say I read through about 100 pages of depositions, and there was
Talk about being constipated.
yeah, and the banging on the bathroom door. Are you done yet?
Used to be Penthouse, now it's depositions.
There is just, it seems like Scientology is falling apart at the seams. And David Miscavige is living in his own little bubble. His executives are living in his own little
Why
bubble.
wouldn't they? They're
He-
running a religion.
But that's the thing, is that they keep getting...
Is anybody else with the existing religions in the world
Not living in a bubble.
not living? The
Uh.
people that Jesus isn't walking around
Okay, so you're
benefiting from his Christians,
right, but the Pope is.
but the
and
Pope
Vatican,
is. But yeah, that's a whole other.
And
But they didn't start it.
the
But
Saud,
then again, Miscavige didn't either.
Yeah,
But
the Sauds are living off of what Muhammad wrote.
why wouldn't LRH be walking around like some kind of asshole? Because he started a religion. Who starts? Well, the Heaven's Gate guy, but that's a whole
Yeah.
other thing.
That's a wonderful.
That was. Do you remember that when
Yes.
that was in the news?
I remember it when they discovered the bodies. Up.
Were you? Yeah. Nobody. It wasn't a big thing. It
No.
was like a weird thing that happened that was on the news.
Neither was the Branch Davidians.
That was just something
David
that
Koresh.
happened on the
Okay,
news
well,
because there
speaking of
was no
Texas,
other.
Speaking of Texas,
Speaking of
where
Texas,
all the nut jobs
According
are.
whole-
to the last Alex
the-
Jones show.
the Rathbone suit against Scientology, the Texas judge denied the anti-SLAPP motion from Scientology's lawyers. And for the uninitiated, the anti-SLAPP, it's a strategic lawsuit. Strategic lawsuit against public participation, which pretty much means that it's a lawsuit that is intended to censor, intimidate, or silence critics by burdening them with the cost of legal defense until they abandon their criticism or opposition. And that's what Scientology does best. They love their frivolous lawsuits. They will just attack you and come after you until you just don't have the money to defend yourself.
Lawyers
And
cost them nothing.
they have their own legal team. They all have their own inspector general. I mean, so the Scientology has lawyers on staff. That doesn't cost them anything. Most religions do. The Vatican does. The Watchtower Society does.
Where's
They
God in all
do.
this?
God? Who's God? What's God?
But that's what you're defending.
I'm not defending it.
No. I'm not talking you. I'm talking them. Like they're defending. So Scientology is defending.
They're defending Scientology. They're defending their whatever
ability.
they're selling,
Their ability to be assholes, or
their ability to prey on people
Yeah, but it's,
and
again,
sell this lie that keeps people from But the people that are being sold this lie apparently need it from somewhere, and if it wasn't Scientology that was dicking them around, then it would be
That's my point to this whole thing.
Muhammad.
Yeah, I mean, shitheads and weak people are going to be shitheads and weak people. There's nothing you can really do about it. So all the people that protest from, what's that, Anonymous, and all those other ones, it's like, what's the point? Why are you singling out Scientology and not singling out the fact that the Christians and the Catholics cannot teach kids that if they're going to fuck, to put a condom on, or to hand out birth control?
Condoms.
Yeah, I mean, why is that? I mean, there's bigger social issues. Why are you taking on such a small issue? And the bad part is they are not showing us. Nobody is telling us why it's so bad to be a Scientologist. Oh, they steal your money. They take all this.
That's not bad enough.
It's
They steal your money.
brainwashing you, making you take out a second mortgage,
No.
make you make out your
No,
max out
that's-
your
They
credit
steal
cards.
your money. That's
No.
all that they have.
If
to
you oppose them, they
Oppose it.
send private eyes after you and
No, that's not
harass
bad
you.
enough. That is not as bad, in my opinion. When you do this stuff to adults, that is not as bad as when you introduce your children to Christianity, Islamism, Jehovah's Witness, any of that. When you introduce a young mind to this lie of this daddy in the sky, of all this other shit, it is not as bad as that.
But isn't it either Matt Dillahunty or Seth Andrews from Thinking Atheist did one of those things that it was pretty much, I made a mistake. I raised my child believing in fairy tales. I raised my child, as a religious child. What do I do now? And I think it's against all religions that if you're teaching a child, Noah's Ark, or you're teaching a child, pretty much, being crucified and then becoming a zombie,
Yeah.
and then, Pentecost, or, speaking multiple different languages after, smoke fills a room.
Voice of God in a cave.
Exactly. I mean, they're all bad. Why would we defend Scientology?
We're not defending it, but I think that there's better causes out there than giving Scientology such a punch on the nose.
But I think it's just a thing to do now.
Okay, that's the bad. That's
because
the bad
it's
part.
the religion of the day. It's this new
It's
boogeyman.
it's a sine way of life.
Hmm?
It's imagine a sine wave. They're waves, up and down and up and down. It's the same thing with sexuality on TV. It's the same thing with drugs. It's the same thing, first it's, if you look at it from a sex side, it's like really, really bad, and then, it's really conservative, and then you have Woodstock, free love, and then it goes to really bad, HIV scare, and now it's, truffle butter. I mean, it's the side way of life. And 6 months from now, a year from now, the thing I think about Scientology happening right now is it is falling apart. There are countries thinking about banning it.
But why are we just banning that? Why are we not banning Christianity? Why are we not?
because it's a religion.
Okay, so but why?
Because judges are ruling that Scientology is more of a business than a religion.
And religion isn't
Religion is in what?
a
Bad?
business.
Of course it's a
Oh,
business.
what are we
They're
missing?
closing, churches across Chicago, everywhere. But on the northwest side of Chicago, they're consolidating churches and Catholic schools into one because,
Why can't they
of
just get
money
rid of 'em?
problems.
Why can't you just get rid of
But,
them? We have better ways of thinking. Why are we still holding on to this shit?
Parking lot space.
Fuck yeah! We could get rid of laws. Let's tear down the churches. Let's build parking lots, and let's.
How about the
But
cemeteries?
why are you building a park cemeteries? Speaking of which, I'm driving the other day, by I can't remember the name of the cemetery, but so I'm driving with Charlie, and she's like, "Holy crap! Look at all this land that they're wasting." And that is an actual problem.
Yes.
Is that we are running out of land to bury these fucking people.
Why are we burying
these people? Are dropping dead left and right, and all of a sudden here's a fucking 10 foot by 4-foot or 6-foot, plot of land that you buy for 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And a lot of money. But okay, so the thing is this:
It's all a business.
everything's a business around this, and
I
unfortunately,
mean, you look at the fucking Catholic Church. Think about how much fucking gold and artwork they fucking have.
or just landowner in the world.
Right.
But
I mean, the fucking money laundering that they're going after Scientology for money laundering. They should go after the fucking Catholic Church for money laundering.
so why are we not? Why are we settling to stop with Scientology? Not
I
us.
think it's
not-
because
not
the
the three
other
of us in this
ones,
room, but
the other ones are more established. We're talking hundreds of years, while this we're talking 50 years.
okay, because this goes back to the
It's
first.
new and it's weird and it's scary.
Exactly. You're absolutely right, Eric.
And it deals with outer space and it deals with
The
this
unknown.
preposterous
Galactic
story.
Xenu volcanoes.
Get the fuck out of here with your galactic
Right.
crap. I'm gonna kneel down 20 times and
I rather chant and beat myself on the chest.
yeah.
And repeat a ritual that's been said for the last 1,000 years versus, I dropped out of fucking DC-7, into a volcano and there's a theater inside of me.
Oh, I love that story. I love that story so much.
It's not a story.
Oh,
It's the truth.
A long time ago in a galaxy way out there.
oh, Herschel, give me strength.
So yeah, it's all bad, but it's gonna go on for a little while longer. And
I wonder if we go to Yerkes Observatory just over the border on a clear night, if we could see Xenu. Go to the planetarium.
I think if we were to go ask Juanito, who works down the street from me on the 5th corner from the block, he could probably give
The
us something.
5th corner for the block?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would, the 5th corner. So if you count that, he could give us something that would allow us to see Xenu.
What is that mayonnaise on corn called?
elotes.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Maybe if the mayonnaise is a little ripe, sat out at 100 degrees, Chicago day, then I'll see Xenu.
Maybe we could crush some mushrooms in with the mayonnaise and we could all see Xenu.
No, I think we're going after Scientology. I think it's
It's easy.
it's easy.
Yeah.
I think they're I don't want to say preying on people because there are people coming to them voluntarily, but the Catholic Church or the Lutheran Church or Protestant Church or whatever kind of church, you can walk in there, you see a mass, you can donate, you don't have to, whatever. There's no contract that you're signing. There's no
What the
obligation.
fuck's the contract? Why does everybody bring up that fucking contract?
Because it's a billion-year contract.
Who the fuck is gonna hold? Who's gonna stick to that contract?
Well, you want to live to be 110.
But the thing is this. Oh, I had to sign a billion-year contract. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, they believe they're coming back.
But what the fuck does that mean? Who's the idiot that believes that shit?
LRH? I don't think LRH himself believes it.
Oh,
Tom Cruise does. John Travolta does.
When I think-
their other active members do.
so when you watch the video with Jenna Miscavige,
Jenna.
Miscavige. So that's his daughter, a stepdaughter.
Stepdaughter.
Okay, and she's like, and she always brings up, we had to sign a billion-year contract.
No, but you got a lot of former members.
Yeah, anybody who's a former member who speaks out of Scientology should first say, listen, I was a complete moron and an asshole because I let these people control me. Not feel sorry for me because I was, controlled and manipulated. No, you know what? I was a fucking idiot. I allowed myself to have this happen to me. Why should I feel sorry for somebody who, is stupid enough to be taken advantage of? Why is that our problem? Why should we have any sort of feelings for them?
Well, you shouldn't.
Exactly, we shouldn't. We shouldn't fucking care.
So why do you care?
I don't. That's the thing.
So why are we talking about it?
We are talking about it because it's such a big deal with people.
But it's not as big as, oh, you mean religion in general?
But their numbers keep fluctuating, though.
See, that's the thing. They're small. You can go after those small potatoes. They're not the Catholic Church or
No, they're not. I mean, if you look at the U.S. Census Bureau, They have some data from Trinity College. For the last 20 years, when they do the surveys, they survey religious affiliations, and it's one in every I think it's 1 in every 12,000 Americans considers themselves, a Scientologist or something like that. Which
1 in 12?
Correct.
12,000.
12,000.
Okay.
12,000. Right, but I mean,
That's still a big number.
That is, but you figure in 1990 they had like 45,000. In 2001 they were showing 55,000. 2008 that number dropped down to 25,000. I mean, but Rastafarianism went from during the same time periods went from 15,000 down to 10,000. Now they're at 60,000. Chic is also rising. They're at 80,000. I mean, Scientology is the least of the religions on every freaking bar graph you look at. In 2001, there's a survey that was published, and in Canada, they only found 1,500 Scientologists. In Wales, a 2003 survey, found only 1,700 in all of England and Wales. In 2003, Australia, only 741. I mean, they have so little numbers, you could crush them.
Is it because they have so much money?
Yes.
Yes.
And since they have so much money, and
You can't fight money.
it's hard.
No, but if you do the math, if you do the math, and the Daily did do the math, they pretty much figured that the quote-unquote Church of Scientology owns 484 square feet of property for every active member. That's a shitload of fucking space.
Wow. You know what?
I mean, I think that's why now they're doing their volunteer ministries, and their RTC, the Religious Technology Center. They're turning Sea Org into Ideal Org. I think they realize that it's just pretty much falling apart at the seams, and
so can you guys?
What are you gonna do?
Can you guys think of anything else that's around us now in media that has reinvented itself, that we now look at it differently from what it originally was? The Gap. I'm going to use the Gap. The Gap 20 years ago was a store that sold jean jackets and jeans. The Gap today is actually a leading force in blue-collar fashion.
Are they?
It reinvented itself.
By paying 3 cents an hour versus 2 cents an hour to some Bangladesh child?
I'm not talking about the practices that way. I'm talking about the way they're perceived in the public eye. That's what I meant about this whole thing. I was like, how has a company reinvented themselves? And is Scientology going to be a religion that's going to invent itself from a religion to what L. Ron Hubbard originally wanted, and that's to sell his idea to psychology.
L. Ron Hubbard freaking probably died on his deathbed laughing that people ate his shit up.
I would hope so. I would hope the same thing would go for the guys who wrote up the Dead Sea Scrolls and buried them in that cave and says, "Oh, I can't wait for the fuckers to find these." That's gonna really fuck with
So
them.
right now we're gonna go find a hole. We're gonna drop in a time capsule, and then we're gonna laugh. We're gonna put this on some sort of flash drive, jump drive, and then
Something better than this, hopefully.
Is Scientology going to be that religion that reinvents itself? Is it going to be
But its numbers are falling. When is it going to reinvent? You have to at least have a baseline to reinvent yourself. The Gap didn't go ahead. Kmart has reinvented itself. Yes.
Sears,
But
same company, same umbrella.
company in both. In both, their stock prices are tumbling. But I shouldn't say tumbling because they are rising here and there. But
But I mean, that's what I mean by
But
reinventing.
but you're going for a specific group. So you're saying that Scientology is going to reinvent itself for a specific group again?
yeah, I think it's going to be kind of like Herbalife. Herbalife started out as a very middle class, health conscious vitamin company that was approaching people who were in the beginning stages of the organic movement. Now Herbalife is like this Spanish speaking like superpower. You walk through this neighborhood and you see the green and orange curtains in all kinds of stores, and they're selling Herbalife shakes. You go watch the guys down the street at the soccer field, and you're going to see 1 or 2 Herbalife jerseys.
Well, that's because the Herbalife is a freaking pyramid scheme.
It's Amway. And Scientology isn't? Religion isn't? Isn't it all top down?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how is Scientology going to market
70% of Herbalife's business is in Mexico.
I rest my case.
This is according to Wall Street.
Yeah, but I rest my
So-
case. I mean, and it didn't start there. It started in Canada. Yeah, I mean, it was like 1990, the first time that I got my hands on a Herbalife pamphlet. I was like, what are you trying to sell me here? How is drinking this going to improve my health and my body? Do I...
Proved it for somebody somewhere. They will probably believe.
Well, people believe all kinds of crazy stuff. I think that's what this whole podcast is about. That's why it's called A
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to Disbelief.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I mean, Herbalife stock took a major hit in, between 2012 and, the beginning of 2014. It took a major hit, and right now it is just sinking.
But that's stock.
It's freaking sinking.
So, you know what? It's going to be really interesting in the next 15 years to see where the Dianetics camp ends and how they reinvent themselves. And who knows? Maybe having the Hollywood connection is just what they need, or the entertainment connection.
But they've had that for so long.
But
they keep it hidden.
They've had very poor examples of it. What they need is Nicki Minaj or Jay-Z to become Scientologists.
Well, they're in the Illuminati, so
That's right. They are.
I don't think you can fly both flags.
I wonder if the Illuminati's got coming out with a drink at all. Kind of like booty sweat.
Is it anything like truffle butter?
Well, booty sweat.
Is it literal booty sweat? And whose is it? Is it Jay-Z's?
But you know what? They have major celebrities. I mean, Sonny Bono was a Scientologist before his passing.
Dead.
Yeah,
Can
dead.
help him any.
Dead.
Maybe he was coming out. He was also a
Jenna Elfman.
Dead. Wait, no.
No.
Dharma.
Jenna.
Dharma and Greg.
Oh, that's dead. Yeah.
So was she actually
She
teaching
is.
Scientology
She's a
when all of
Scientologist,
her
yeah.
hippy dippy appearance was, or was that her hippy dippy appearance marketed in a different way to people? It was
That-
marketing Scientology to people,
Oh, that's interesting.
See?
but hiding
that's
it as a
interesting
hippie.
question.
Yeah.
And maybe some of her dialogue was
Well, we'd have to go. Oh wow! Could you imagine
No.
going back and watching Dharma and Greg?
not if I don't have to.
I didn't mind Dharma and Greg. I like Dharma and Greg.
Yeah, we know that Beck is a Scientologist. And he just won the Grammy last year.
Yeah, but Beck isn't.
Beck is going to move into probably soundtracks or something at some point.
Okay. That
Or he's going to be a producer.
like an Elfman?
Jenna?
No, Danny.
Is he a Scientologist?
No, but I mean he moved from Oingo Boingo to
Exactly.
you
Right.
know doing these.
And how
huge,
Trent Reznor is going to become
Yeah,
what he's gone from.
stuff's really good.
Yeah.
I gotta hand it to him.
Well, the instrumental stuff was always good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it really is.
But yes, they do have major people, but they keep the Scientology aspect of their lives out of everything. And it's always this unspoken thing that, oh, he's it's not marketable because it's too weird, and people can't afford it if they want to go all the way.
No, you can't.
At what point, what does all of the whole Xenu stuff have to do with your participation in Scientology? What is in you now, is that what Xenu dropped into the volcano or whatever?
Oh, I see.
And if you pay enough to get into the higher echelon of the church, what's the ultimate goal?
To be completely clear,
So that's like
to
going
reach
to heaven?
OT8, your ultimate goal
Is that enlightenment?
that's getting rid of all your chains, all the bad things that happened to you.
And all that's coming from the mind of a madman, though.
Right.
I'm not saying that the rest of them didn't come from the mind of a madman either, but definitely LRH is anything we say about him is coming from the mind of a madman.
I don't know.
Okay, so we covered Scientology pretty damn good here. We all had our little rants. We're confused by it. Do you guys care what happens in Scientology?
No, we all had a rant, and personal opinion.
Yeah, personal opinion.
At the end here, I think if the lawsuits keep coming against Scientology is done.
Done
you know.
how? How are they going to get rid of all the property? How are they going to get rid of all the people? Where do they all go? I mean, I understand there's not that many.
Well,
but where do they all go?
look at Chicago. They've been moving the Church of Scientology from Lincoln onto Clark for the last 5 years. I drive past that building on Clark every single day, and no work has been done on it. And they've pushed the grand opening from 2014 to 2015, now to 2016. I think between the lawsuits and the IRS and the money laundering and all that, they're gonna get shut. They're gonna be shut down like organized crime eventually.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the way that Scientology works. It works like organized crime. One person defects, and they make an example out of that person because they do not have the manpower to go after everybody that's defecting. So they say, look what we did to this person. If you fucking defect, we're going to do that to you. That's how organized crime works. Because organized crime doesn't have the manpower to go to every store to, pay for protection. They make an example out of one store, one person, and then it's all mental threats. And I think if enough of these quote-unquote defectors say, hey, fuck this, fuck you, I'm suing you, or whatever, even though Scientology is known for and loves frivolous lawsuits, but the IRS keeps coming after them, and this does turn into a federal case, I think there's going to be a time where it is just, you know what, we don't have the money to. It's going to be like the 70s in the IRS raid, where they almost went under there because, you start freezing assets, everybody jumps ship, then what? Your list of active of famous people is what, 50, 30, 20?
Right.
I mean, name 3: John Travolta, Tom Cruise, Jenna Christiali, Jenna Elfman. I mean, name
Will
a dozen.
Smith, possibly.
Will Smith, there was that rumor going around for a while, but they're saying no.
Louis Farrakhan.
But these actors start dying off, and no new actors. Justin Bieber isn't joining. Then what?
What if he is joining? What if they have the right brand of propaganda?
So
you're saying they're doing what the
start
Catholic
singing
Church
about
is doing?
Scientology.
Is that is what the Catholic Church is doing? Is they're trying to they see their membership dropping, so they're trying to involve the young youth again?
Well, Eric, what are your closing ideas before I close that out on that topic? Because I've got stuff adding there. Do you?
I'm not gonna join Scientology.
Okay.
If I do, I will definitely let you know,
Thank you.
and I will fill you in
Do we get a discount
on
then?
the inner workings. If I get to a certain point when I don't join Scientology, and I could probably do something.
Give me a good price on a copy of Dianetics.
Yeah, I actually have one at home.
Let me take my tool set e-meter. Or does it have one of those stickers, warranty void if open?
If removed,
Yeah.
I think it's a bunch of lies that are no worse than Christianity and everything else. It's certainly no better. There haven't been any wars fought in the name of Scientology yet. Although
Yet.
the Scientology wars, that's
Isn't
going to be exciting.
Wait a second. Isn't there wars being fought in court?
I'm talking about
Yeah.
the Scientology wars of the future.
Oh man, you mean like real, like
I'm talking like,
Terminator?
You're talking
Exactly.
drones versus drones.
okay,
Catholic Church is going to deploy drones.
exactly.
Church of Scientology is going to deploy drones. Baha'i Temple is going to deploy their own.
The Scientology wars coming to the theater near you. Was that what the tech war and all that stuff was about? Oh, that's William Shatner.
That's William Shatner, man. That's him and his what's that language he might Esperanto?
Okay, I'm thinking tech.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Okay, that would have made sense though. Why is there not a TV show?
Scientology TV show.
Yeah.
Why don't they have something going on?
Why
like that?
don't they have something?
Really good question.
Why are they not adapting to the times?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
But
saying?
they are.
Exactly.
Like, church,
Why-
like Catholic.
Why don't they? Why
Catholicism,
doesn't Netflix have?
Why don't they produce a series on Netflix or Amazon?
Why do they have their own channel?
Yeah.
How about that? Is there a Scientology channel?
No, but
Do
there's
they
other
own-
religion channels.
Do they own media?
They do.
Wait, that's a really good. That
own
actually is a
media.
really good question because none of us are members. What if, like, when you're a member, you get to log into a back end section on the Scientology website that we don't know about?
You do. There are perks to membership, from what I've been told.
So then
That
why?
you get publications
Okay.
and access to videos that
Sweet. Why is
Scientologists don't.
Anonymous not?
They have
giving us
been they
that?
have been asked and they don't believe it's. My understanding is they don't believe it's worth the cause.
To hack?
To hack into that and give us that information?
Supposedly so. I mean, I think Anonymous is doing its own thing.
What are they doing? Are they doing anything good?
Yeah, they're
Are they doing anything productive?
in their own world.
That's. Are they?
They have ideas just like we have ideas.
But. So we could be.
But I mean, when you look at it, there is Operation Chanology, which is a protest movement.
Chanology?
Chanology.
Chanology, like-
CHANOLOGY. I'm trying to look it up really quickly.
Who's Chan?
Animal Chin from the Bones Brigade movie.
I mean, there's the ex-Scientology kids. But I mean, these are all very, I mean, Scientology, Anonymous has posted to Scientology before via YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've posted
mean,
to them.
To them,
But-
right.
But okay, so just like Edward
Because their
Snowden.
protests always turn ugly, Well, no. Do not do this. Do not do this to me. Do not turn this into Snowden, because that's going to turn into whole...
But as he
Whoops.
posted all, or Assange, WikiLeaks.
If all your secrets are out, then you have nothing to hide behind. And you
Yeah.
can move on.
Yeah. So why is they? why is it so hard for them? I mean, okay, if there's this backdoor section that exists in Scientology that you have to be a member in order to get into, okay, and we just don't know about it, and that's where...
Is it more than the Road to Freedom that we just listened to? Or, I mean, it's the same with Esther Hicks, for lack of a better example.
Okay,
That it's
very
all
good.
the same thing
over and
that
over
they're
again.
saying. And if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, oh, well, here's another $20 CD you can order. Oh, you didn't get that one? Well, that's only because you're not
Exactly.
completely tuned into the vortex yet.
Exactly, but okay, so
But Scientology is I can't compare the two of them. That's a silly place to start.
well, what I would like to compare here is the Christian music movement of the 90s. Not the rock. There was the
Are we
rock.
talking Striper?
I am actually talking about them buying up like radio stations and promoting the music on the radio stations, and Moody getting involved. This is for Chicago.
Oh,
And Moody getting involved in WLCW, I believe were the call letters for the AM Christian radio station, and how they created their own media that... So in closing, if this was going to be my closing statement, and this isn't my closing statement, but Scientology doesn't yet have I said this before, they don't have the tech in place for the kids. There's not kids text.
other Scientology apps?
I haven't come across any. So, but if they had like how they have children's books, and we have flashcards, and we have,
Scientology has children's books, coloring books.
that's a big step from a children's book, though. So, like
It's a coloring book.
Goosebumps, Hardy Boys, Nancy
R.L.
Drew,
Stein. You're comparing R.L. Stein to L. Ron Hubbard?
L. Ron Stein. Is that the writer of the Hardy Boys?
That's the writer of
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. I'm okay. So
I
I'm
think
not-
the Hardy Boys were written by a number of different people.
okay.
The same
It's
as
a
Nancy
mixture,
Drew.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm not comparing that. What I'm comparing is that there's this media.
What are you comparing, Jack?
I'm not exactly sure.
I'm comparing the media that exists for an age group. Scientology has yet to have that.
So you want PBS to air Scientology for kids?
No, but
Sesame Street?
I want to know if
Big Bird meets L. Ron Hubbard?
Sesame Street?
Yeah. Bert and Ernie
version?
visit
Xenu.
Xenu.
Who
Yeah.
knows who
Hey Bert, today we got Xenu on the line.
maybe they did. What if
See,
Jim
that's what I
Henson was a Scientologist?
Well, my thing is, I don't know. I don't know if they have that media in place, and if the kids growing up in Scientology, the children of the Scientologists, have Scientology propaganda to fuel their day. Because if they don't, they're not going to be Scientologists very long. They're not going to stay within the religion. If it's a religion or cult or, practice, whatever you want to call it. But that's how Christianity and the rest of them work, is that they have stuff
But
for
isn't
the
that
kids.
what Sea Org and Ideal Org is now?
I really don't know. That's my problem, is even with all the research and the reading and everything else,
Between the three of us, we're talking hundreds, if not thousands, of hours spent researching this, reading about this.
I came across nothing for kids.
And exactly. And that's the
That's-
thing. Nothing across for kids.
How are they going to last if they have nothing for children? Every
I
other
think
religion
they're
has...
depending on you indoctrinate the parents bring the child with. You indoctrinate the 25-year-old, the 25-year-old has a child, they bring the child with.
But what do you have for the child?
Nothing. The story is too advanced. The story is for adults.
They tell you that from the beginning, even until you're level 3, you're not allowed to know.
Scientology ain't for kids.
Right. I mean,
Then
but
Scientology
your
won't
argument,
last.
but your argument is porn won't last because they don't have porn for 5-year-olds.
They're not born for kids.
So you're saying that since there's no Marlboro Man anymore. Your argument is in the 1970s when the FCC banned.
I love you, man. I love you. That is awesome. That is what's so awesome.
That part's not getting cut. That's for sure.
Oh fuck no.
When the FCC and the Federal Trademark Commission says no, you can't advertise. Okay, so Sweden, Norway, one of those countries, they forbid, and it is illegal to advertise to children under the age of 12.
Okay. So there's no Voltron commercials.
Correct.
There's no Pokemon commercials.
Correct.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that since the Federal Trade Commission and FCC banned the advertisement of tobacco and smoking products in magazines and TV and all that, tobacco use fell because of that? So you're saying Scientology is going to fall because they're not advertising to kids 18 and younger?
I'm going to say when you walk into a Christian bookstore, whichever Christian bookstore you walk into, or whatever religion bookstore you walk into, they have a children's section, and that children's section is pretty vast.
But they're impregnating 13-year-old virgins too, so...
Who?
The Catholic churches.
Oh.
Teenage, not 13.
That's... I'm really just thinking about the timeline on how long they're going to be around, and if because they don't have this in place for ages 5 through 15, that they're not...
At 15, you're working hard labor. If you're in Scientology.
If you're in... But
because they don't care. If you look at...
Is that... Maybe that's the media I'm thinking of. Because they put you to work, you don't have time to worry about...
But they don't care about education. They don't care if you have a 5th grade education or not. Because it comes to a point that if you are in Sea Org, or you are in the Australian Gulag, or you are at the LA complex, that, you know what, once you reach a certain age, or once you reach a certain OT level, that it doesn't matter whether you're in 5th grade or in high school, you're done. That's it. They don't care. I mean, you look at the one interview from the Australian news channel where the father rescued the son just a couple years ago, and they will, YouTube that, and that will give you a perfect example.
Wow. It's like they're next door. Actually, they are next door.
I think this is what's going to be going on when I get home.
Yeah? Yeah. This isn't bad, though. This will go on to like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then what?
I'll stop.
I'll probably come out tomorrow morning at like 6 or 7 or so, and there'll be somebody sleeping in the front yard.
Yeah.
With his pants half on and half
Chicago.
off. Yeah. I'll wake him up. Hola, senor. Sorry, I sleep. Yes, I can tell.
Your closing thoughts, Jack.
My closing thoughts on Scientology are: if you need something to believe in, I feel sorry for you. I really do. If you need some sort of fantasy in order to get through your day, I feel sorry for you.
There's so much to entertain your mind and your body.
So much
Why
real
are you
stuff.
Doing this.
Yeah, but so my closing thoughts are: yeah, it's just another goofy religion that's out there. That's, unlike Christianity, at least we can look at the timeline of creation.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have to imagine like the breath of God and the rib of Adam and stuff. We can see where it was started and whatnot. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, look at that. Unity. Until next time.